Our focus at this part of the Mass, the Liturgy of the Word, is to take these scriptures and these prayers of today and to place them in the middle of our lives, take our lives to them. A homilist has the challenge every Sunday and every weekday Mass of deciding how much to focus on interpreting the scriptures of 2,000 years ago, more or less, and how much to speak to the reality of the daily situation of our lives, and then to pull that together. The parishioner and visitors have the challenge of taking what's going on in your lives and taking what I say and taking the scriptures and putting all that together. And basically what I say is I'm talking to myself out loud about the scriptures, about my own life, and that kind of thing. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the tax collector Zacchaeus, and it's your challenge, your opportunity to have to take all that and apply it to your lives. And it may be even in terms of voting on Tuesday. I'm not going to say much about that except vote. Okay? Last Sunday we had the parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector. Today we have a story, it's not a parable, about a tax collector, and we have a name. His name is Zacchaeus. Now, Jewish people would have considered Zacchaeus a lost cause. He worked for the Romans. That was a no-no to start with. As a tax collector, he worked for them. And also, he was a cheat. He was dishonest. It's kind of the way he made his living. It's the way he became rich. We don't know a lot of details, but we do know enough. And he lived in Jericho. Now, Jericho was about 23 miles from Jerusalem, but it was way over half a mile lower. Okay, let me get the right number here. About 3,500 feet lower than Jerusalem, even though it's only 2,300 miles away, and it actually was about 700 feet below sea level. Now, Jerusalem would be maybe something like Palm Springs for us. Beautiful all the time, lots of palm trees, lots of fruit, you know, all that kind of a thing. And people would have their palaces there and go there for the winter and all of that back then. And that's where Zacchaeus was a tax collector. And most of the people there didn't have much interest in Jesus. And so Jesus had said, we're just going to kind of bypass the city. And by the way, the Herodians were there, and they were the ones who were trying to catch him, among other things, make him say something wrong or bad so they could of him. So, Zacchaeus clearly had heard something about Jesus somewhere. And we're presuming Zacchaeus felt fairly empty. He knew something was missing. He knew his life, and we're reading into this, wasn't going well. And he needed to make some changes. So he had heard about this man, Jesus. He wanted to meet him. And he was a short little guy. And so he did something that was very undignified for this tax collector who was kind of the upper crust in society. He ran down the route where he thought Jesus would be going. He climbed this tree and looked out for him. Now, in a sense, he went out on a limb in two ways, okay? Literally, but also, what would people think of him, you know? his socialite friends and all of that. For this guy, Jesus, who's he? Now, Jesus went out on a limb also, in a certain sense. Here's this man, and so Jesus comes up to him and he stops, and rather than bypassing Jericho, because Jesus went out on a limb for many people in particular who were in need and wanting and empty. So Jesus said, come on down quickly. He said, today I must stay at your house. I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you think that meant he wanted to go to his address of 406 whatever street? No, not really. Although he did go there, because it said that he went to the house of a sinner, and then all these other people, they were all upset. What's this Jesus doing going to the house of a sinner? No, the house he wanted to go to was inside of Zacchaeus, to his heart. He wanted to touch Zacchaeus' heart, and that was the kind of house. But actually, it was both. So whichever way you answered that, it really and truly was both. Now, Zacchaeus is risking everything he has. He really is. And Jesus is reaching out to him. And it was probably both Zacchaeus' friends, but more so Jesus' friends, who are grumbling. You know, he shouldn't go associate with a guy like that. They both took a risk. Now, Jesus offers salvation to Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus accepts the hospitality. Jesus accepts Zacchaeus' hospitality, the invite to actually go to his house, you know, at 406, whatever street it was, because he did do that. And then Zacchaeus accepts salvation, because that's really what Jesus has to offer. Now, Jesus, according to what we know, did not ask Zacchaeus to change jobs. He did not ask Zacchaeus to give away the rest of his possessions. He did not ask him to come and follow me, being an apostle. Yeah, to follow him, but not to literally go wherever he was going like some of the others. But he met him where he was and in the circumstances of his life. Now, we can wonder a little bit about Zacchaeus' future. For example, did the elite of Jericho ostracize him and shut him off after that? Maybe. Maybe not. Did his life really get turned around, or was this a one-day experience or a one-week experience? Again, we don't know. Did he follow Jesus way out onto that final limb, the limb of the cross? And again, we don't know. So what about you? What about me? What am I looking for from Jesus? What are you people looking for as the net team talks with you about Jesus tonight? What are you looking for? How do I connect with Zacchaeus? How do I connect with Jesus? I'm going to end with the words of Jesus. Zacchaeus, or whatever your names are, Martha or Otto, whatever they are, today's salvation has come to your house. I have come to seek and to save those who are lost. Amen. Hallelujah. God bless.